Tuesday, no, don't bring waste management in this. They got nothing, no, they ain't got nothing to do with this. This is the board, this is, who is this? This is you. This is you. And you, I don't know if it's ethical or not, but I feel that there was a conflict of interest. Yeah. You should have recused yourself when you voted against waste management, knowing full well you were going to turn around and bring this to us. Right. So you, sir, board member, elected board member, appointed. You should reconsider your conflict of interest. Right. You turn me off again?
I'm too far away from my receiver.
So I'm just saying, I am a board
Jonathan, give us
I am a board member as well, and I serve on the 911 board, and I had to be responsible for the ethical things that they were holding me accountable for. And if there is anything that come across that I have to vote on, that I have an interest in, I recuse myself. And you did not do that, sir. And also tell them that you're also part of another waste management service. Also tell them that you are, is it ECM, ECC? Tell us what that is.
That's their landfill.
That's their landfill, but you are also working with it. You Robert, Stephen? You're Stephen. Yeah, I read your papers. And I'm saying that I feel like for the last few days, when I got your email, sir, that you knew I had my community meeting Saturday, I invited you to it, and when I saw that email with your time from 11 to 1, I tried my best not to say you did that on purpose. Yeah. I'll let you guys in, but I'm just saying that in front of them because I don't know what conversations you've had with them. But it's obvious that you've had sidebar, under the table, behind the scenes, conversations with them before Tuesday, we're just not finding out. No, and also, I'm not done, because I wasn't here. I'm going to give you a chance to respond, because I'm going to ask you the question point blank, and I want a definitive answer. I want to know if you told them before I got here that there were two bills running. There's a resolution, and there's a bill. There's a resolution that was two separate things. I just want to make sure, I may have missed your comment on that, but there are two separate bills. One to address the land that gives you the exemption, the special permission to do this facility, and the other one that is the bill that has all of the information attached. So we were not aware that there were two separate bills and two separate hearings. So this that we're talking about now is up for June 1st, Tuesday, on a holiday, after a holiday weekend, the same night as the budget hearing. So I don't know if he explained to you how some of our things work, but half the people are not going to be there that night to speak in opposition to this. So I'm taking the opportunity to speak for them. We oppose this, and we will be there. All day long. But it's the council members that's going to approve this. That's why Tuesday, all 39 council members are going to have to answer whether or not they support you. This is cute, but I need to know where you stand. So that brings me back to you, which asks you definitively, yes or no, on Tuesday night, do you support this legislation?
So let me do the walkout.
I don't want an explanation, please. Just give me a yes or no. Yes or no.
Here is the answer. They can tell you first, the conversation today, conversation yesterday, the conversation leading up to this meeting is, they knew exactly what they were going to walk into today and have the option to pull and have the option to voluntarily pull that, or it will not pass. It will not, it will. You asked me to answer. Did you terms of the timeline for the meeting. Those in the room will know, and we'll explain to everybody, that we were under time constraints. This actually came up weeks ago, and I deferred it because there had not been a public meeting or interaction between them.
You didn't refer it because it's running under the Jackson law. I know a little bit, but just please. Just say yes or no if you will support it. Because I don't want no explanation. You did it that.
No, the reason I'm answering all three questions is because you're creating a different narrative. You're creating a different narrative. And since we're going to talk about accountability, they're creating a different narrative, right? Because you put out that there were side conversations happening, this, that, and the other. There have been months of conversations over the Southern Services site and all the things associated with that. All the things associated with the Southern, the regional board meeting leading up to that. Those guys were part of that conversation along with a whole host of others. We've been literally talking about all the options, and this is only one company that tried to come. They were just the first to file an application.
But the other companies are not on the June 1st agenda.
Exactly. So, the first step is, as I said, they know this was not going to pass if they ran into the bus hall I told them they were going to run into here. So if this room does not want it, if they don't voluntarily pull, listen, if they don't voluntarily pull their application, it's not going to happen to you.
So let's pause right there. Let's pause right there and ask them. Let's do it.
No, they know that answer.
Let's ask them.
Go ahead. No, I mean the room. No, I mean the entire room. The entire room they don't even have to go through the whole presentation. The entire room can tell them where you stand. But
We oppose. We oppose.
tell them.
We oppose. We oppose. We oppose.
Landfill there. Give us that history.
So
it was a problem.
So no, I need you.
Building in Williamson County.
Yes.
Why are you over here?
Right.
You're in Williamson County. What are you doing out here?
Jonathan Hall,
Yes, ma'am.
do you support this or no? She's asked, don't interrupt her.
That's right.
You're ready to answer. Yes or no? You ready? Correct.
What is yours?
So my answer, as I was trying to walk through the timeline, was I don't. But you have to understand, when I say no, me personally, I don't. You have to understand from this seat what I have to do, which is I'm legally bound to put them in the room with you, and you guys, right, do what you're doing now. If I did not respond to the
He has the
application,
last say. He has the last say after we speak. After we speak for 2 minutes. After we speak for 2 minutes at the council hearing, he makes an impact statement that the council members are going to hear, and they're going to vote based on what he says.
Thank you, Miss Ruby Baker. Miss Ruby. Thank you. I got it all on tape.
well, that's what I'm trying to do.
there since 1970. And I personally would like to say, not to be rude, but I'm one-on-one when I say something behind the person back, I can say their face. We never see you about anything unless you think it's gonna be something of great importance. You don't
he's gonna get some money.
We don't, yes, that's true. We don't see you at any time unless something of this magnitude comes up. It's some sort of publicity.
Awesome,
Back to what I have to say, I can say any more kind of person that I can say in front of their face. And if you're gonna represent us, you need to be supportive and you need to come out sometimes to the meetings, and you should have presented this to us. Get this about an hour before time for this meeting. That Nick, you can have it.
Okay, so real quick, I'll respond to that. One, this wasn't an issue to have at a meeting before any application was filed. The filing of the application triggers a 30-day timetable. You have to respond to that within 30 days. So when they filed the application, that's when the clock started, and that's what brought us today to our yes. In terms of your meetings, talk to this maker, because I'm not even I don't even know what they are.
So, can I have everybody's attention? This is very important. This is very important.
Go ahead.
So, I passed the Jackson law and I was a sponsor, and I completely do not support this. But listen up, so everyone will understand. Listen up. In order for us to have the protection of the Jackson law, so that we can decide as a local group, as a local municipality, that we don't want this, the councilman in that district is required to take it through the hearing and ask for no votes. Okay? So I hope he's against this, but understand he's got to take it to third reading and ask for no votes so that we will have the protection of the Jackson law. And that is the law. Fault over this. So understand that. I hope he does not support this, but he's got to move it to the third reading and ask for no votes.
We can actually do it on second. You have to have the hearing, but second reading, if it gets voted down, that's the end of it. Sure. It doesn't even get to third.
But he can't just kill it because of protection.
Can he withdraw him? Can they withdraw? Can they withdraw?
In order, as a former council member,
Yeah, right. Good. Out, Mr. Hall. You need to go out. We need you out. We need you out, Mr. Hall.
First, I cannot kill the bill before a public hearing. We have specific steps we have to follow. So let me give you a separate example. On the landfill, you saw a bill get introduced that says this bill is supposed to approve the expansion of the landfill. Did you see that? Okay, that bill was introduced by myself and the administration, Metro Legal, because we were trying to time the application from Southern Services when we went before the regional board. Because as long as there was an open, active application, if we put that legislation on the floor and then voted it down, that was the end of it. What happened, that's the only reason that legislation ever hit. It was so that we could vote it down. This is no different. That had to go to second reading. It had to get to a specific point before you could do that. The example you gave, the very first council meeting I walked in with the composting facility, I said withdraw because it was on third reading. It had already had its public hearing. It had already gone through that process, and I could simply kill it with one word, then. This is no different. You still have to go through those steps in that process.
Will you do that?
I don't think it'll even make it to third. That's the point. Once you get past your public hearing, you have a second reading and then a third reading.
If it does, will you
On second reading, it would not pass. It can get pulled on third, it can get killed on third, but you gotta get past your public hearing.
You're making it as though the decision is theirs to pull, but your impacts, no, your impact, when we come to the public hearing on June 1st, and we all give out 2 minutes in opposition to this, and you make your impact statement, that's what's going to influence the other council members. And if you stand in the middle without adamantly saying, I oppose this, I'm asking my colleagues to oppose it as well. You are not saying that, sir. So that means that if any one of those 39 council members support this, they're basically saying, screw you, Board Up. Screw you, District 1.
So
If any one council member support this, after you make your impact statement, they are basically saying, forget all of the Bordeaux fight, forget all of that, we're dragging you through this again. So I'm asking you
here's what
to
you're missing out of
actively
that statement.
oppose this and ask your colleagues to do the same.
Here's what you're missing out of that statement. And former councilman just touched on it, that there are other people in the room, those votes, right? Right now, the votes are already counted. The votes are already in place to not do this. You have to go through the process.
Jonathan, I understand the process. We're
You
just
asked the
asking
question.
you,
You asked the question.
to ask your colleagues to not support it. I don't want to hear it, they can, but I'm just asking you to specifically, definitively ask your colleagues not to support it. And if they do not do it, then we have an opportunity to vote them out.
Again, you're missing something out of that statement, right? You ready?
Time out.
What you're missing out of that statement is this. We're mixing 2 things. Going through the process, yes. Here's how I've been lied. First, everybody in the room knows where I stand in terms of council.
No, we don't.
I said all.
Respectfully, everybody, please. Everybody, 3 seconds, take a deep breath. Respectfully, we're going to change this atmosphere. We're in the house of God. We're going to change this atmosphere. Everybody, please take 3 seconds and take a deep breath. Please, wait a minute, please. Everybody, please. Myself. you're gonna vote it out.
This is why you go through the process and you have the meeting. Weeks ago, May 4th, that was brought up. May 4th, when this was brought up, when I stood in front of council and said, you cannot do this, they've not met with the community. Right? So, it got pushed to this point. Simultaneously, here's what we've done. Besides pushing the narrative on waste management and having them in a position that they've never been in before, right? Finally having Jackson Law in place, finally having the administration support the community and willing to go to court to do it. Simultaneous to that action, the creation of a solid waste, recycling, and composting commission to further oversee all of this is where you guys need to really participate, right? The city has a 30-year waste plan that Dan can tell you about more than anybody else in the room because he served on that board while it was being created. What you have to understand is there is a process. There is no appetite in council, despite for 60 years the rest of the city voting to push